And perfect. So we're just gonna have a nice slow little practice today. We'll get into some good stretches, and let's go ahead and start off on our back in Shavasana. So everybody lay down. Make your legs long, drop your head, rest your hands, and start to just feel your body. Notice the parts of you that are in contact with the floor. Notice the parts of you that are not in contact with the floor. So probably like behind your neck, maybe behind your knees, maybe your low spine is kind of up off the ground. And then notice how it feels to breathe here. I took a class last night at home. It was just 30 minutes. It was about 5 poses. And all we did was pay attention to how our breath felt different in each pose. And the first few poses were really hard to tell, like what I was feeling, just because I live outside of, I live on my to-do list and my calendar, and keeping my house clean, all that stuff has my attention far more than what's happening inside my body on most days. So it kind of takes a little bit to reconnect and feel all of the very subtle sensations. The notifications we get from the outside world are much more aggressive. Our phones will literally vibrate, they'll shake, or they'll make a noise. Our body doesn't. It doesn't give us notifications that way. So just take some time, slow down, show yourself a little grace, a little compassion, and just practice feeling and just practice being. From a physical standpoint, there's a lot that happens when you take a breath in. Your diaphragm drops down, compresses space in your abdominal organs, so your lungs have room to expand. And just that alone, knowing that there's more to it than what I think of it, is really humbling. And so let yourself dig a little deeper, find a little curiosity. What all can I feel? Can you feel the muscles between your ribs stretching? Can you feel them contracting? Can you feel your rib cage moving? Can you feel space in your abdomen shifting? Take a big breath in, and then a big breath out. And let's bring a bend into our knees. So your feet are maybe a little wider than your hips. And then pigeon toe your feet. So turn your toes in slightly. So your knees can kind of connect. They can fall together. And practice feeling what has shifted. When we bend our knees, I know from massage, this creates a softer abdomen. When I work on people's tummies, I always ask them to bend their knees first. So see if you can feel a shift through your abdominal organs. Very subtle, very small. It's not going to be vibrating at you. It's not going to be blinking at you. It's going to be just beneath the surface. Notice if that creates any shift in the spine. Any difference in your breath at all. Take a breath in. And a deep exhale, get as much air out of you as you can. So use our core a little bit, good. And notice that in breath, how good it feels to breathe in after you kind of force everything out. Let's walk our feet together and find a triple diamond. So we'll open both knees wide. You can leave your hands on your stomach, by your sides, or you can lift them up over your head. So we're getting into hips and shoulders if you opt for both. Now, because our lives are so fast and they're so outward, we do have a tendency to disconnect from our bodies, but also from our planet. So if you think about it, here in northern Indiana, we can get raspberries all year long. We can get squash all year long. We can get strawberries, blueberries, bananas, oranges. Fruit that's not in season up here, we can still eat. We can still enjoy. That kind of removes us a little bit from the natural pattern of nature, of our environment. We've got long seasons that last for a couple months at a time, that we're kind of disconnected from, other than having to walk out to our cars, maybe put our coats and socks on. And we really don't have to deal that much with the elements outside. I think that further creates the disconnect from our bodies. We also have shorter seasons each month. We've got the moon cycle, the new moon, the full moon, the waxing, the waning moons. And again, these sensations are all just subtle. We pick up on them without knowing. So right now the moon is waxing. It's moving from empty to full, so it's building. So what does that mean for us, our subtle energy? We can begin to build just a little bit. We don't have to go over the top. We don't have to bust our buns. We don't have to break ourselves in order to build. But we can know that there's like a culmination happening. Things are building. And in 2 weeks, it'll be full. We're close enough. So let's start to connect with this subtle season that we're in, the waxing moon, and begin to think about what we want to build for ourselves. Let's bring our knees so they point back up to the ceiling. And then just very gently set them down to the right side. So both knees drop to the right. Take your arms out into a T and then turn your chin to point off to the left. This is a really good time just to go along with that theme for creation. To get clear of what it is that you would like to kind of build up in your life. We set our intentions at the start of practice, sometimes at the start of our day. But a really powerful time to set an intention is while the moon is building, while it's growing. And we have some more help here. We've got the sun is in Pisces. So that just means that we have this dreaminess to us right now. We have this ability to kind of be idealists and see what we hope to have happen versus like what's really happening. We can look to the future and imagine like a perfect world. So let your dreaminess kind of run away with you today. Imagining all the things that you want to create for yourself, that you want to build for yourself. And just trusting that it's the perfect season for that. It's the perfect time. Let's move our knees over to the left side very slowly, just lifting and then setting them down to the left. We'll turn our chin over to the right. As we're in the beginning of our practice, just start to think about what you want to feel. Who do you want to be today? What do you want to embody? Start small, start at home, start with yourself. While we do have that watery, creativity, dreamy, visionary energy, we also have some earthy energy to help ground us while we're daydreaming, to help bring our ideas down to earth so we can watch them actually unfold in front of us. Let's pause in gratitude just for the ability to dream and imagine and create. But then for the flip side of that, to do and act and like have our feet on the ground. And slowly take our knees to point back up to the ceiling. And then pull them in towards your chest. Hands to knees. Take a couple of great big circles with your knees around your hips. Change the direction of your circles. And let's find center, neutral. Just rest your hands on your knees and just be here for a moment. Not in any specific pose. Not thinking ahead, just being right here. And we'll cross our legs at our ankles and rock your body up to a seated position. It's nice and slow. We'll cross our legs at our ankles and just get comfy on our seat. So draw your shoulders back and down and close your eyes, just resting your hands on the tops of your legs. Notice where your right leg is in space and where your left leg is. So just feel your hips for a moment, feel your knees for a moment. Ground your focus down into your body. Still and sturdy. Feel the heaviness of your pelvis anchoring you downward towards the floor. And let's add a little flow. So bring your chin down towards your chest. And very gently, very dreamily begin to move your head from side to side, just gently rolling back and forth. Right ear to right shoulder, then chin to chest, and left ear to left shoulder. Very easy, very soft. Notice the difference between this feeling, this flowiness, and the sturdiness of just sitting still. While you're noticing things, notice how you have both at the same time. You have a sturdy base and a flowy top. Next time your right ear lands over your right shoulder, keep your head there to the right side, tipping over to the right. Let both arms become led very heavy. Shoulders fall away from your ears down towards the floor. Allow your jaw to soften, your lips part, your eyes. Do whatever, they can be closed, your gaze can be soft. And let's drop our left hand down to the floor next to our hip. And then tiptoe those fingers further away from your hip. So you're moving towards the side of the room. Slowly take your chin and point it down towards your right hip bone. We're just changing the angle of our neck slightly. Notice that shift within you. As subtle as it may be, see if you can sense the difference. Bring your hands to your knees and drop your chin down towards your chest. Keep your shoulder blades pulling back towards your spine so we still have that sturdy foundation. Supporting us, our skeleton is sturdy and strong. And then let's add in a little flow again, taking your head gently from side to side. As you're moving, let yourself get a little dreamier. Flowing and be imaginative. It can be sensitive, it can be feeling. All while being grounded, all while being consistent and sturdy down in our base, in our hips, and our legs. The next time your head is to the left ear lands over your left shoulder, just let your head fall to the left side. Keep it there. Relax your arms. Bring that lead feeling back into your arms and shoulders. And relax your neck, jaws, your eyes, your ears, your nose. Press your right hand down beside your right hip and tiptoe your fingers away from the body. Notice the subtle change in sensation in your right neck, top of your shoulder, maybe your trap a little bit. Slowly begin to point your chin down towards your left thumb. Feel the difference from point A to point B. Also consider that just because you've gotten into the pose doesn't mean it's the end. Like your body might make more room. You might realize that you're clenching an area that is preventing you from stretching. Just be curious, what all is there for you to feel? Bring your hands back to your knees, chin down towards your chest. Just let your head be heavy. And add a few more slow head rolls, right and left. Now let's bring our gaze to neutral and we'll crawl into tabletop. So we'll move our hands forward. We'll put them down beneath our shoulders and then our knees come down beneath our hips. So let's drop our belly first. Lift your tailbone, blink your eyes. Cow pose, and then into cat pose. Arch up through your spine. Look back towards your thighs. And then move on your own. You can pair your moving with your breath, or you can just like let everything go and just see what happens. Come back down to the neutral spine and walk your knees wide. We'll move our hips downward for child's pose, pressing your hips and then your forehead down to the ground. So let's lift our elbows up off of the mat. So our fingertips are down, and then crawl your fingertips as far forward as you possibly can. And then let those elbows relax again. So notice the subtle length that added into your side body, maybe into your back body. I feel like we just get so used to our notifications that scream for our attention. They're loud, that we forget that the body whispers to us. It's much quieter. While the world is screaming, the body is whispering. What can you pick up on? Let's lift our gaze and crawl your hands off the right side of your mat. So your left hand lands on the floor. And bring your right fingertips back in line with your right knee. So your elbow is bent. And we'll drop back to the ground. So our forehead comes to the floor. Right fingertips are in line with our right knee. Our left side body is long, reaching from left hip to left fingertips. Slowly move your way back through center, and we'll find the opposite side. So our right hand comes to the floor, left elbow bends, left fingertips come back towards where our left knee is, and lengthen through your right side. Maybe you can feel the slight traction we're giving our spine. Maybe not, and that's okay. When we're so used to listening for yelling or for vibrations or for bings and dings and stuff, these little tiny whispers of feelings can be so elusive. They can fly right by our radar. And so have some compassion for yourself as you're exploring your internal world. Because it's a completely different language than what the rest of the world is speaking. Let's move our body back towards our center child's pose and then up to hands and knees. We'll wiggle our legs back under our body. And let's take our right toes to the back edge of the mat. So our right leg comes long. And just press back into your right heel. So we're going to give our right calf a good stretch. Awesome. And pick your right toes up, set them down to the left edge of your mat. And look around your left shoulder for your heel. Bring that length back into your right side body. And notice how it's different now. We're kind of in a different position. And one more on this side. We'll take our right foot out to the right side, so it's in line with our left knee. And your right toes point to the top of your mat or that direction forward. Slowly move your hips backward until you feel a good amount of sensation in your inner thigh or your groin area. You can find all the way down to child's pose. You can come like halfway down it. It's not, the only way that you can do this wrong is if you are hurting yourself. You have to learn to listen to what is too much and what is not enough. And let's move our way back to hands and knees. And take a couple seat curves. Wiggle your spine side to side. Back to center. Take your left foot to the back of your mat. Press back into your heel. Give your calf a really good lengthening stretch. And then pick your toes up, set them down to the right edge of your mat. Look around your right shoulder for your heel. And take your left foot out to the left side. Line it up with our right knee. Make sure your toes point to 12 o'clock. And start to find your stretch. So slowly take your hips back. Pausing in a good spot for your body. Let's move our body back to hands and knees. Just a few more rounds of C curves. And then come back to a neutral spine, back to center. Take our right leg back behind us again. And then bring your foot forward so it comes up towards the outside of your right hand. We'll be right here in a lizard pose, so you can lean your palms down. You can find a forearm or two, maybe you've got a block. And also lift the bottom part of your foot up off the floor. Put your focus into your feet. Notice your right foot and left foot. Just if they're tense, what they're doing. Get a feel for what's going on. In your right calf and left calf. Right knee, left knee. Your thighs, your hips, abdomen, chest, your shoulders, your hands. And if you've lowered, we'll start to lift ourselves up. So begin to lift your hips. We'll wiggle our right foot in between our hands. And start to walk your hips back for a half splits or reverse splits. So we want our left foot going right on top of our left knee. You kind of need to trace that line on your body just to be sure. Feel free. Then have your hands on the ground. Have your hands on your shin. You can have the covering if you want to get into your core a little bit. But let's all focus on the back of our right thigh. Just relaxing. Let's bring a bend back into our right knee. Slide your hips forward. And then take your foot to the outside of your hand again. And from there, we'll just come right back to our tabletop. Walk your knees together. We're going to move from child's pose to cobra a few times. So we'll start by pressing our hips back, lowering our forehead towards the floor. And then we'll roll up through tabletop, bring our hips and chest down to the ground, and lift up for cobra. So just go slow. Close your eyes here, just to make it so there's less external distractions. Really go inward and feel what it's like to move, feel what it's like to breathe. Notice if you have any dreaminess, any like ideal visions that are coming. After your next cobra, let's meet back in our tabletop. Take your time, take any movement you need to once you get there. And then we'll take our left leg back and forward for lizard pose on the opposite side. So we want our left foot under our left knee. You need to like manhandle your leg at all, you can do that. And find a good surrender spot for you. And remember, we use our hips for different things. We always hopefully use your right foot to drive. Sometimes we cross like one leg over the other. So they kind of get like beaten in differently, so to speak. So if you can go further on this side, if you can't go as far, just take note of it without judgment. Our mind is usually pulled in the direction of the loudest sensation, biggest sensation. So it's probably your hips. But remember, there's so many more muscles, there's so many more bones to you, there's so much more to you than just your hips. So make sure you're not clenching your face, your butt, your abdomen. Make sure that you are being deliberate with how you're using your body right now, all over. Not just your breath, not just one part, but all parts. We'll start to lift ourselves up and out of lizard. We'll walk our left foot in between our hands, and we'll start to move back for reverse splits on the side. So we want our right knee beneath our right hip bone. A lot of times I have to pick it up and scoot it back a little bit. But find a way for you to be here and kind of pinpoint that loudest sensation where your head goes first, what you notice first. And then remind yourself there's more. Relax the top of your thigh, relax your butt muscles, relax your face. Slowly bend your front knee, bring your hips forward again, and then walk your left foot out to the edge of your mat and scoop it on back for tabletop. Slide your knees together. I'll take a few more rounds of child's pose to cobra. Just go with your own flow, your own rhythm. And move entirely with your breath. Kind of get fast and loose and see what happens. But just be with yourself as you're moving. See where you feel, how the movement feels, how the breathing feels. After your next cobra, let's all meet in a tabletop. From table, tuck our toes under, and slowly lift for downward facing dog. We just have one. So we'll lift our hips high and slowly work it out from side to side. One knee bends, the other lengthens. And let's slowly walk our feet towards our fingers. Find a seat, bring your hips downward, and roll all the way back to your back side. Now place your feet down on the ground, just about hips distance apart. Reach your fingertips towards your heels. And we'll lift for one bridge pose. So we're going to press our feet down to lift our hips. This is a good exercise for the booty, but today I want you to let your booty completely relax. So your body's being supported by your feet. And we're not clenching, we're not holding around our pelvis. And slowly bring your hips back down to the mat. Take your right ankle over your left knee and reverse pigeon. Pull your legs towards your chest. Hug inward. If you feel like you are craving a half pigeon today, forward on your front side, please feel free to slide your way into that version of this pose. We'll move from this pose into a twist. So we'll take our arms open. We'll cross our knees, so our right leg crosses over the left, and drop your knees down to the left side, while your eyes drop down to the right side. So we're going to focus back into our breathing. And just feel how different it feels to breathe with a twist compared to when we're flat on our backs at the start of the class. Can you get a sense of any like smushing of your organs happening? Are you getting any signals from any muscles? Like sometimes I feel twists in my outer hips, in addition, in my spine. Slowly work our way back to neutral. Noticing how your pelvis adjusts. Let's put our feet down on the mat. And then press into your feet to lift slightly and tuck your tailbone. Bring your hips back to the floor. So we can get a little more length in the spine. Feel that subtle adjustment. And then we'll take our left ankle over the right knee and grab the back of your right thigh for a reverse pigeon on the opposite side. Let's find our twist. Your arms out wide. Drop your legs down to the right now and your eyes to the left. Next one's more with your breath. Feel that ebb and flow. And slowly move our body back to neutral. Feel that shift in your pelvis, your spine, your organs. And let's move to set ourselves up for Shavasana. final resting pose or guided meditation. So you can stretch your body long. We started our practice. We can legs up the wall, triple diamond, knees bent. Just make yourself comfortable for the next few moments. Just be settling in. So any additional movements you need to take are perfect. So whether you pay attention the whole time or not, it's okay. Drift in and out. Presence in and out of sleep. With all this imaginative energy cosmos, we're going to engage with our imaginations for our meditation today. I want you to imagine yourself walking down a street, a city street. It's spring and the trees are blossoming and there's a hint of like hyacinth in the air. You smell those pretty spring flowers. As you pass by the big containers of flowers that are on the street, big flower pots. You can hear the sound of traffic. You can feel the light breeze as you're walking, meeting your skin. And pretty soon you see a doorway that you just know you have to go through. It's tucked away. No one else seems to even be aware that it's there. You open the heavy door. It's made of wood, and you step inside. Instantly, silence surrounds you. No longer hear the cars. No longer feel the breeze. It's just quiet. You notice that there's a staircase. And so you take one step at a time down the stairs. It gets a little bit chillier with each step that you take. And pretty soon you're on the floor. There's no more steps. And ahead of you is another great big door. It has a beautiful doorknob or door handle. You reach out and feel it under your fingers, and the door effortlessly just to swing open. You can hear the creak. And you step through the door to find yourself in what you can only assume is Beauty and the Beast's library. It's books on books on books, tall shelves with a ladder that you would have to use to get up to the top shelf because there are so many. You get a sense of like magic being in this quiet room filled with books, filled with knowledge. The most striking feature of the room is that it has a dome stained glass ceiling. And with the beautiful spring weather outside, light is pouring through and colors are everywhere, almost like you're in a kaleidoscope. So as you take in the colors, as you take in the smell of the books and the feel of the power of being in this room that's filled with knowledge, you notice that there's a desk sitting in the middle. It has this beautiful journal. It has gold edges around the pages. It seems like it's like withstood all of time. Your curiosity guides you there, it pulls you there. You pick this journal up in your hands and feel the weight of it, feel the importance of it. You open the book, open the journal, you see that all the pages are empty. There's nothing written inside. So you take a seat at the little desk, grab the little pen, and we open to a fresh new page. And you start to connect the pen with the paper. And you write down what emotions you want to create for yourself today and over the next week and a half or so as the moon is building. What do you want to feel? Is it energy? Do you want to feel energized? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel clear? What is it that you want to feel? How do you want your body to feel? How do you want your mind to feel? Do you need clarity? Do we need direction? What is it? What do you need? What are you going to create for you? In your imagination, set the pen down. And just imagine that all of those things that you wrote are true, just like that. Snap of the finger. They've been created. You're feeling them. You're embodying them. You are them. Pick the pen back up. Hold it to the paper. And now write how you can use yourself to bring service to others. How can you create a more giving way of being in service to your loved ones, in service to strangers, in service to your town? And see how it starts at home. Everything starts at home. Everything starts with you. If you're feeling good, feeling clear, if you're feeling centered, you can be so much more for yourself, but for everyone else around you. That's why it's important to take this creation seriously. Creating the you that you need to be is an important task. So lovingly put the pen down, lovingly close the journal. Take another glance around at the books, at the colors, the kaleidoscope that's around you. And make your way back to the door, back up the stairs. It's warmer with each step up. And you step back out onto the city street, knowing that your intentions have been etched into that beautiful journal. That your creation is already beginning to unfold as Step number one is awareness. We've done that. Let's take a breath in. And then let your breath go. Move your body back to life. Move your fingers. Move your head side to side. Any movements you need. Bring our knees in towards our chest and take a couple of rocks from side to side. And slowly find your way up to the seated position. Once you get there, relax your shoulders. And just bring your hands to your heart with your eyes closed. With all my love and all my gratitude. Namaste.
Namaste.
I appreciate you being here, and you all feel relaxed and ready for your day. And thank you guys. I hope you all feel relaxed and ready for your day too.
Thanks, Maggie.